Hi, I'm Kelly Francis Love, and I'm the archivist here at the Museum of South Texas History. I have been with the museum since November of 2017. I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio. I received my bachelor's degree in zoology from Miami University, and then after a while I decided to go back to grad school and got my master's of library and information science from Kent State University. In early 2019, I also became the collections team leader, which means not only am I in charge of the archives, but I'm also in charge of the 3D artifacts and 2 additional team members. To be an archivist means that you work with historical materials such as documents, newspapers, photos, maps, basically anything except a 3D artifact. We manage them, we make them available for researchers, and we preserve them for future use. You can see that I'm here in my office, which is over here in the 1910 jail. And you can see that it's kind of a mess. I sort of have some ongoing projects all the time. Over here I have some institutional archives I've been working on, which are museum-generated materials. And then I've also been working on a collection of letters and photos from Freddie Gonzalez's mother. And now we're going to go take a look at the rest of the building. Okay, well now we are here in the reading room. This is the room where patrons would normally come perform research. And as you can see right now, we wouldn't have any place for anybody to do research. We are currently closed to patrons because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are taking advantage of this space right now and using it as an area to process materials. So you can see we have our docent Leanne here is working on some Freddie Gonzalez materials, and our part-time collections assistant Susie is back in the other part of the office working on processing some photos. In addition to using this room for research, we also do have a library here. As you can see all these books behind me. These books are available for researchers to use while they're here in the archives, but they are not allowed to be checked out. Okay, everybody, this teeny tiny room is our media room. This is where we store media of all kinds, from records to cassettes to CDs, DVDs, VHS, beta. This is a room that really doesn't get used very often, and a lot of these materials we don't necessarily have the equipment that we need to be able to use them. So unfortunately it's not something we can use very often, but hopefully we will be able to use it more often in the future. Okay, everybody, we are here in the map room. Obviously we have more in here than just maps. We do have old newspapers in this room as well, all along this wall. I think our oldest newspapers date back to the 1860s. We do have some Spanish language newspapers as well, and those have actually been digitized with a program that UNT offers. So that's really cool. We also have oversized photographs in this room, such as this one. This is another room like the media room where it could definitely use some help. Unfortunately, there's only 3 of us, so we can only do so much. Ideally, all the maps in here would be stored flat in cases like these ones that I'm standing next to. Unfortunately, you can see there's a number in here that are rolled up like this. I do want to pull a map out in here for you guys to look at. So the proper way to store the maps is in these flat cases, and we do store them in these acid-free archival folders for preservation purposes. So the woman that had called us about these maps, it turns out she is the granddaughter of Ed Lassiter, who was the founder of Falfurrias, Texas. And this is a map of Roma, Texas. This is a hand-drawn map, which is not something that you will see nowadays. You can tell that it's on an older type of paper. All of the lines here are perfectly straight, perfect squares, and I love the intricate detail around the calligraphy here that says the title of the map. We do not have a date on this particular map, but given the materials that were used, the fact that it's hand-drawn, and that it belonged to Ed Lassiter, we're guessing that it dated from the early 1900s. All right, everybody, so here we are in our main archive storage room. We've seen the media room, we've seen the map room, and this is kind of the room where everything else goes. It's divided into a few sections, and we'll take a peek at all of them. Back against that far wall there, we have a number of land title records and old phone books, phone directories, and yearbooks. We also have rare books, the kind of books that we can't have downstairs in the reading room because we don't want them to be handled on a regular basis. Then most of the room is taken up by these gray boxes, which are archival storage boxes, and they contain various documents about all kinds of things. Then we will take a little walk over to the other side of the room where we can see institutional archives and photos and oversized documents as well. Okay, so over here in this half of the storage room, we have institutional archives, which I've said before are museum generated records, and those are what's right here behind me. And then back that way, so kind of from this shelf all the way back that way, is photos. It doesn't look like a lot, but you'd be amazed how many photos can fit in one box. Supposedly, we have one of the largest collections of photographs in the lower Rio Grande Valley. And I would say that we have probably tens of thousands of photos in these boxes here. And then we also have oversized materials are in these flat shelves, just like we saw in the map rooms. And there is an item in here that I would like to pull for you. So what we have here is a certificate that is appointing Dixon Kennett as postmaster of Mercedes. It is dated October 1912, and it is signed by the president, William Howard Taft. We do believe that this is an actual presidential signature. A lot of times, if you were to write to the president now, you would get a stamped letter in return. But this does look like an actual handwritten signature. You can see areas where the line is broken up, where the pen was kind of running out of ink in spots. So it's just a really unique find, and just goes to show you never know what you're going to find in these boxes. So this is one of the things that I enjoy about my job, is that it's always a surprise and you get to hold a little piece of history in your hands. Okay, everybody, so this is the final room on our tour, and this is what we call the reception processing room. This is where we put items that we have received either through purchase or donation that we have not had a chance to process yet. Processing materials means that we organize them, we put them in boxes, we make them available for researchers. So basically that means anything that is in this room is not available for research right now. It is a room that is an ongoing project. This is something I have worked really hard on since I started here at the museum. When I started, there was no rhyme or reason or organization to any of this. I have at least started to put the boxes together by collection. So that has helped significantly, and we are slowly making progress in this room, but it always needs work. And I thank you so much for coming on this tour of the archives with me today.